Love you. I'm gonna film a video for you guys, but I have to put the snuggle bug to bed. That was a good camera moment. Oh my gosh. Time to make mommy cry? That's not a good way to start the videos, Dolly. More kisses coming? More kisses? Oh, kisses from my shoulder. Mwah. Mwah. You're wearing a lot of lipstick now. Look at her cute jammies. They're pretty snazzy. I like them. Can you do squidgy face with all the lipstick on your face? Good squidgy face. That's a good one. Scarlet, you want to tell people why you don't have hair yet? Say, I don't know, guys. There's nothing going on in the front, but there's a party brewing in the back. Look at her mess from all the fun she had today. Aren't those jammies cute? We got them at Old Navy. Okay, her to bed. Then you and me will meet over there. Can you say tickle, tickle, tickle? Good job. Can you say night-night? Night-night. 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 Okay, baby is asleep. Ryan's out in the garage doing whatever men like to do in an uninsulated, unheated, giant wooden box in the middle of the night. So I'm gonna choose to spend my time with you, talking to myself in the middle of the night. Cool. Scarlet was too much adorable for me to handle. My head had to explode at least 2.5 times because she sang with me. Babies singing with their mommies. What? There's no hand gestures appropriate. I'll slap my knee. It's all like, I don't know. It's just too much. I love it. And then she gave me more kisses. She kissed my lips and then she kissed my cheek and she took all the lipstick from my lips and then it would be on my cheek. So I'm probably all kinds of rosy. Half from the transplanted Beebled lipstick. Okay, weird thing I've said, number 1. And half from just being glowing of the adorableness of babies singing with their mommies. Okay, let's just start doing some of these questions and answers. Here's the cues. I have A's. By the way, hi new subscribers, hi. Did you find me from Louise? Okay, hi. If you didn't find me from her, tell me how. And if you subscribed to me without ever watching one of my videos, tell me why. Because why would you do that? Alright, if you could be invisible for 4 hours, what would you do? 4 hours, that's so specific. Well, first I would have an exit strategy, because if I'm going to be non-invisible, my invisibility cloak will come off, then I need to make sure that I'm not doing something ridiculous or like stuck in somebody's house or something, which brings me to what I would do. My neighbors and I walk by each other all the time and we always see each other outside and we always say hi, and I know people by their dogs and their kids because they introduce themselves that way rather than saying, hi, I'm this person and I live down the street. They're like, oh, you have a dog? I have a dog. My dog's name is this. And so I know, you know, like the lady 3 houses down who lives in the orange house. We don't have an orange house, but who has the dog, Sally. None of this is real. I'm really bad at making up stuff on the spot. Sorry. That's how I know my neighbors. And I would be interested to know if Orange House dog Sally lady decorates her inside of the house the same way that she just did with her new window treatments and her garden and her window boxes. So I think that in my 4 hours as an invisibility person, it's going south already and I just started. I would go prowl around in my neighbors' houses in the least creepiest fashion possible. I just want to know how they decorate. And if they've done remodels and things, I'd like to see how that went. Yeah. If I went a more non-terrifying invisible moment where I'm going to go sneak inside neighbors' houses, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. Let's change it up. I think I would go to the mall. Yes. Okay, where's this gonna go? I would go to the mall and steal Segways from the mall security cops and run amok in a runaway Segway and watch them chase me. That would be entertaining. And then if there was time left over, I'd go to the department stores and do what I always wanted to do as a kid, which is go down the up escalator and up the down escalator. Not the escalator, oh God. Marie. And then I would jump across all the mattresses on the mattress department store, hopping from one to the other and pretend they were clouds. And maybe I would time it just right so that when the 4 hours was up, I would be in midair and I would come down and then I would just blend in with the other mall patrons. Hi, new subscribers. I'm sorry. Let's go to the next question. Okay, regaining composure. Danielle asked, how do you go about teaching Scarlet words and how many can she say? That's sort of paraphrasing her question. When she asked this, Scarlet was like 13 months, I think, and she's 15 months now. At 15 months, I think she can say 25 to 30, maybe. Like for red, she goes re, and blue is boo, but I know what those mean. But up, down, on, off, mama, dada, although she knows, you know, she can say perfectly clearly. And how did we go about teaching Scarlet? So I would say the simplest way that we did it was 10 words or less. If you're doing animals, 10 animals or less, and have several things with them. Have a stuffed cow and a flashcard about a cow and maybe the magnet toy with the cow, or, you know, just incorporate it wherever you can so that it's in several different parts of their day and they kind of get that different association and understand that the purple cow magnet is still a cow, where the stuffed cow is still a cow, and the cow in the book, you know, is a cow. They're not all different things. Does that make sense? That's kind of what we did. Scarlet's not super verbal. She's pretty average, I think, for her age range. Maybe just a tiny bit ahead, but there are kids like Isla who are just chatterboxes through and through, and they are able to say so much. Okay. Have you ever had serious relationships before Ryan? Okay, this is my saucy question where I made it seem like I'm super daredevil rebel who ran away from my family in the videos, or yeah, the question and answer videos I put up before. Okay, I actually thought about making you wait until a couple more questions, but I won't do that. That's too mean. Yes, I did have 3 serious relationships, semi-serious to serious relationships before Ryan, and 2 of them I did leave my home. But it wasn't like I was like, I don't care what you say, Daddy, I love him. Like Ariel, that was my Ariel, and ran away. My mom actually supported it. She was like, if you can travel, go. Spread your wings and fly. My mom's a rebel, so of course she said go. She wanted me to have life experiences. So when I was in high school, I had this adorable little boyfriend, and we constantly had a little cartoon heart floating above us as we held hands and skipped through fields of daisies. That was our relationship. He was on the high school basketball team. I drew him little banners every game he had and held them up in the stands like a total goob, and we were adorable. We were together for many years, actually, through all of high school. I think until like a week before graduation or something like that. It's pretty much High School Musical. That's what we were. And I'm still friends with him. His family, or he might be watching this. If so, hi! Hey there. I still call him on his birthday and say happy birthday every year, and we talk quite a bit on Facebook, and he's just a really sweet guy. Now, very shortly after graduation, when I was in high school, I met a guy who was a foreign exchange student, and he was, oh my gosh, if he's watching this. Are you watching this? You're not watching this, are you? Or any of your family? Anyways, there was a foreign exchange student in my high school, and all of the cheerleader girls swooned over him, and they all thought he was so cute, and they probably just because he was a foreign exchange student, but they just talked about him all the time. And I was not a popular girl, even though I had the boyfriend on the basketball team. We were just sort of not really in any crowd. We weren't like made fun of or anything. We were just sort of quiet wallflower kind of people. So when he, foreign exchange student boy, started paying attention to me, it was kind of exciting because I knew that the cheerleader girls liked him, but he wasn't paying attention to them. So after graduation happened, he and I hung out quite a bit, and we had a lot of fun. And then he flew away to Germany, and over the phone professed his feelings for me, and flew me out there to see him. His family paid for it. So I got to stay in Germany for about a month, and I felt like Alice in Wonderland, and it was amazing and crazy. I'm glad I did it, but it was crazy, totally out of character for me. So at 17 years of age, I flew to be with a boy in Germany. We went to Germany and Austria, and I stayed there for about a month. Then I came back here, and then I got back together with my high school boyfriend. Oh, this is so cliche, and I'm not a bad person. I was just a high school kid. We got back together when we were over here eventually, and we were together for another year, and then we broke up. Then, foreign exchange student boy came back for a visit, and we actually weren't planning on seeing each other. Everybody left on good terms. Everybody's still talking to each other. It's all fine. Well, he and I, once again, like, kind of hit it off, and he was like, you should come back to Germany. And at that point, I was working at Garden Botanica. Do you remember that store? It was a makeup store in the mall. It's like one of my 2 jobs that didn't have to do with kids. And so he was leaving to go back to Germany. I quit my job that day and left for Germany 2 days later. Oh man, stories for the grandkids, that's for sure. So that's my one crazy, and then I stayed there for like another month and came home, and it was fine. Everything was cool. We're still cool. We're friends on Facebook too. I really hope he or his family isn't watching. If they are, hallo. Is that, I think that's hi in German, isn't it? Guten Tag. Sorry for the accent. So then the other guy, I had more of a tangled, more of an adult, you know, grown-up world relationship. It was more tangled mess and emotions and roller coasters and all that. And I was in that relationship for 4 years. 4 years. It was my longest relationship aside from Ryan now. And he went to New York for a while, and so I followed him to New York for a summer. I was just going to stay for the summer. I think I was there for 3 or 4 months. I think. It's all blurry now. But yeah, so I lived in New York, and I actually lived in Brooklyn. I lived in a basement apartment with my boyfriend and his roommate. There was 1 bedroom, so all of us slept in this one little tiny bedroom. And there was 1 window that looked up through a drain grate. That was the only window in the apartment. It wasn't really supposed to be an apartment. You can get away with all kinds of things in New York. And then when I would go in the morning to the subway, there were these little boys that would play on the brownstone, just like they do like on TV. You know, like you watch different shows and they sit in these beautiful brownstones. They sit on the stoop and they have barbecues and everybody's running across the street wearing their Sunday church clothes, and then they open up fire hydrants and water pour out and the kids play in that. I thought that was all TV, but this was the neighborhood I lived in. It was really cool. So I'd be walking to the subway, and these little boys would go, "Mom, I'm late for school. The white girl's out." They told time by me because I was the only white girl, and I'm a 6 foot tall white girl. So that's crazy. Those were my relationships, and now I'm with Ryan, and we have been together the longest out of all of them, and I am... yeah, this is a totally different style relationship than those ones. Most of them in some way or another were a roller coaster. This one's just been so stable and happy. When we realized that we had been together longer than any of my other relationships, we high-fived. Just like we did on our anniversary. We always start each new year with a high five in the morning. It's a good way to start. Have you met any celebrities before? Yes. Quite a few, actually. Depends on what you call celebrity. If you're saying A-listers, I've met Justin Timberlake when he was in NSYNC, so I've met the rest of NSYNC too, but he's the one that counts, right? And I said this before in a vlog long ago and far away, but it was on my birthday, and it was the day he broke up with Britney Spears, so I'm taking credit for that. And on that same day, my legs from the knee down were on MTV when they used to have that show of like making the concert or something like that. Oh, I've met a bunch of, I've met Jesse McCartney several times. I used to have a job, and I'll explain that in another question that's coming up here, but I used to have a job where I met sort of teeny bopper, tweeny celebrities semi-regularly. I don't know what you call semi-regularly. Like 2 or 3 or 4 a year-ish? So several, and for several years. Esther asked, what jobs did you have before Scarlet? I know you were a preschool teacher, but any besides that? That's kind of paraphrased too. Yeah, this is actually kind of fun. I've never talked about... This is actually kind of fun. That sounded sorority girl. Sorry. I've never really talked about this before, but I've worked with kids in almost every capacity in every job I've had, and they've all been really fun, dynamic jobs. I've done things everywhere from nannying to, you know, summer camp counseling. Those were my first jobs when I was younger, which, by the way, I got hired as a nanny, an after-school nanny for 6 hours when I was 12. Would you leave your 3-year-old and eventually newborn with a 12-year-old? Now that I'm an adult, I think those people were crazy. Good thing I was responsible, because shame on them, even though I did it fine. But still, who hires a kid out of middle school? Do you? Is that normal? I'm scared of that kind of thing. But my main job that I had for the most amount of years, a lot of my life, like 8+ years, was working in children's media. And I don't want to give like a resume here because this is the internet. I don't need to give that much of my information out. But I will say that this job was super fun. I guess an equivalent would be kind of like if I worked on the set of like iCarly or some Nickelodeon show where celebrities come and make guest appearances once in a while. You get to work in front of large audiences of kids who are really excited to see you, even though they don't know anything about you other than you're a part of the thing they love. And it was fun. I signed autographs at that job. Like I said, they didn't know who I was, but because I was a part of this thing, it was fun. And we got to create programming and activities and things like that for groups and events and stuff. It was just a fun job, and I had it for a lot of years. Aside from that, I was also a science teacher, which I've talked about, and I got the science job because of the fun kid media job. So it was not just like science, it was like mad science, where I did school assemblies and I traveled all around, and we did do big summer camps for that program, and I helped teach the teachers how to teach the kids the science. It was very hands-on science. We did a lot of polymer play, blowing up things, slime, setting things on fire, everything that you think of a mad scientist doing. And the assemblies were super cool. I got to write my own scripts for those, and they would send me the supplies to make these big productions. It was great. So I've had a lot of fun jobs. And then I did become a preschool teacher, but that was just for a small blip before I had Scarlet. Yeah, I had some other jobs in there too, but those were the ones that I stuck at the longest, and some of them overlapped. At one point, I was a full-time student working at Starbucks promotions, so I would go to big sporting events and sample out new Starbucks like Frappuccinos and things, and working at the kids media thing and working at the science company too. All of those overlapped at one point in my life. I had a very color-coded, coordinated calendar. When I get that many letters in my head that alliterate, then I lose all control of what's going to come out of my mouth. I think I handled that well. Have I answered any questions at all here? I don't know. Oh, a cool celebrity story. I met Cuba Gooding Jr., remember from Jerry Maguire? Yeah, that's the movie's in. Show me the money! He broke his arm at an event that we were at, and he broke his arm, and then he had to go shoot a Got Milk ad that was going to be airing in a magazine, and I heard him talk about the Got Milk ad and whether it was going to be rescheduled and everything. Then later I saw the ad, and they actually used the fact that his arm was in a sling to do like the milk builds strong bones. I just thought that was cool. So that was fun. And I met Nick Lachey from 98 Degrees. I don't know why that one just hit me, but I did. I have a signed 98 Degrees poster out in the man shed where Ryan is. Where else are we going? Promise asked, if you could live in any state in the U.S. and work wasn't an issue, where would you live? I should have a good answer for this. Okay, so a while ago, I traveled for a family's funeral, and I went to Ketchum, Idaho. And that's going to be my answer because it's not romantic, sorry, but when I was there, I was in this little valley, and it was like the little town that I think Bruce Willis and Demi Moore tried to refurbish and make all nice. So I went inside the store, and they had jeans that fit me just off the rack. No special place I need to go to get the extra longs. I have a 36-inch inseam, which is really long, and they had jeans that fit, and they weren't crazy expensive. So that place, Ketchum, Idaho, has always glowed, specifically for the jeans that fit. But outside of the store, I walked out with my new jeans, all excited, and there's little tiny mountain peaks all around you, and these mountains, they're not really mountains, whatever they are small enough that you can see the people skiing down them and parasailing down with their like rainbow parasails. So I felt like I was in a snow globe. Snow globe, parasailing, tiny people, mountain, jeans that fit is where I would go. Part 2 of her question is, if you didn't have to live within city limits, would you have animals, chickens, goats, cows? Yeah, I would. I actually grew up with an uncle who farmed, and so I have been around animals a lot. Here's another funny story. I have a dent in my femur bone from a rooster's beak, where a rooster attacked me and then stuck in my leg. And he was vicious and mean and coming at me while I was trying to collect the eggs away from the hens. I didn't know I had gone into the rooster's pen. The battery got me. I was talking about roosters. The battery's gonna get me again, so we're gonna have to speed talk now. The short of the story is, Rooster attacks my leg. Rooster lodges itself. It's like flapping and being angry. And my uncle, who's trying to rescue 7-year-old Marie, comes at it with a 2x4. Rooster beak stays attached to my leg. The rest of the rooster did not. Trauma. But I still want backyard chickens, just no aggressive roosters for me. Abzan Lala asked, what countries and states have I visited? And she also asked, what are my favorite and least favorite house chores? Countries I've visited. Canada several times. Mexico once. I've been to the Bahamas. I've been to Germany and Austria. And I've been to France, but cheater style. I was only there for a day, and I don't think you can count it when you fly in and fly out on the same day. So I think that's it for countries. For states, I've been to this whole side, and this whole side, and then little bits like that. Nothing really down here. And then the middle chunk, I've gone to a lot of work conferences there, but never left the hotel walls, and it made me sad. So the middle of America, all I have is sad memories of beige. Lots of beige and conferences. Khakis. Okie doke. And my favorite and least favorite chore. This is where bits and clips is going to get a little freaky. Everybody has their thing, right? You've got to have a thing. Tell me what yours is. I cannot touch anything if my fingers get pruny. I hate the feeling of having wrinkled fingers and then touching anything other than terry cloth, like a towel. So when I get out of the shower, I have to wait. I have to put lotion on my hands, which I hate the feeling of having to put the lotion on in the first place, and then wait. So with that being said, I hate doing dishes. Not because of the gross food or, you know, like getting mushy and water and mixing together, or the germs or anything. I just can't stand when my fingers get pruny, and they get pruny really fast. And right now, one of you is saying, why don't you just wear gloves? Like, I haven't heard that my whole life for a girl who hates doing dishes. When you put the gloves on and then you have the steamy water, the inside of the gloves get your hands moist, and then they prune up fast, and then your entire hands are encased in things that are touching them. Crazy came out. But I hate doing dishes. I've done an entire load of dishes maybe 5 times in my life, my whole life. I'll do them if there's like 1 or 2 or 3, you know, at a time, but if you have a party and there's a whole stack load of dishes and no dishwasher, I'm going to do everything, including cleaning toilets and things like that, to avoid it, because I do not like it. Best every other chore is really the other chores I like. I like doing laundry, I like vacuuming. Ryan and I have it set up. So glad I married that man, because he does dishes. He does dishes and I do everything else. It works for us. And then he does yucky things like... yucky things. I don't do dishes or yucky things. I'm really not prissy. He takes the garbage out, takes the recycle out, he does mowing of the lawn, all that stuff. He also fills my car with gas. I haven't had to fill my car with gas more than 2 or 3 times since we've been married. That's a great marriage perk, if you ask me. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. What else we got? I answered the celebrity ones. I answered that one. Let's end it. We'll do more later, but I'm really worried about the battery. Last question is, do you think that you and Louise will ever meet someday? Would you say that you two are close friends in real life or just internet friends? If I were to say we were just internet friends, that feels extra creepy too. It's like cyber buddies. The word cyber in front of anything with internet now has just gone wrong. I don't think that was the original intent of the word cyber, but you just can't do it anymore. No, we are real friends. You know how I said I had that first boyfriend? Louise is like my first boyfriend in the cyber world. Whoa, creep wash all over that. Wipe it away. Wipe it off your screens. I'm sorry. I'll wipe it off for you. The first boyfriend that I had, where it was all sweet and little heart bubbles floating above our heads, and then we ran through fields in slow motion holding hands full of daisies. I want to run through fields with Louise. Someday she will get off a plane at one end of a field coming over from the UK, and I'll get off of the other end of the plane, you know, in Texas, because that's America, right? I don't know. And then we will run in slow motion through daisies, and she'll say pip pip cheerio, and I'll be like y'all, and we'll run, and then we'll embrace, and then we'll make vlogs. We don't really have any plans to actually meet up. We both say it all the time because we want it so badly, and we think if we say we will, then we will it into happening. We're going to tell the universe it'll happen. So I love my Louise, and yeah, we are really good friends. We talk about everything from really deep philosophical and theological discussions to silliness and having dance parties. Having dance parties over the internet using our cameras sounds creepy too, which is not it. Gosh, I blame her for this. She always goes into saying something wrong in her videos, and I do it too. I mean, like, we have our babies and we're like, oh, dance, dance, yay, it's delightful, and she does it too, and, you know, and then we're dancing. And she bought too many glow sticks one time, and what else do you do with glow sticks but dance with a friend that you made across the other side of the planet on the internet? I should leave it at that. If you subscribe to me without watching any of my videos, go back and watch my last day of Veda video, Veda 30, or yeah, I think that day ended on that, because that one links you to other videos of mine, and then you'll know a little bit more about me. But you still have to tell me why you would do that. Why would you just subscribe? Because Louise said, Marie's great, go subscribe to her, and you just follow whatever Louise tells you to do? Fair enough. That's good. I would do that too. If she tells me to do something, I'm on it. Okay, rambling at the end of my giant ramble. Good night! Sorry if this was too much for you. Beeble kisses for you. Transplanted lipstick on your faces.